Hey everybody, what's happening? Welcome to my Thursday Q&A. So every Thursday I make these videos where I answer your questions, so drop them in the comment section below and I will answer as many as possible next week. So I am in the beautiful Cocoa Beach, Florida. It's just amazing. I've been just chilling out in the sunshine all day, soaking up vitamin D, and I feel great. So let's get started on this. David Vario says, how many hours would you have to work to clear debt plus save $1,500 for major van repairs, assuming you were going to knock it all out at once? This is impossible for me to answer for at least two reasons. One, I already have 3 different sources of income, and they're not by hour, and determining how many hours I've put into work for these would be just an impossible, tedious task. And the other one is that I don't have a job for someone else right now, but when I do, I'm not even sure how many dollars per hour that'll be. So then it's kind of hard to say. A lot, but I am somewhere I really enjoy, and I'm in touch with my inner peace, so I'm not too worried about it. It'll go by really fast regardless. Sorry I can't give you a really straightforward answer about that one. Hayden Warner says, what software do you use to edit your videos? I use Adobe Premiere Elements, and I absolutely love it. I had Windows Movie Maker before that, and it was much more difficult to use. I found the Adobe Elements really intuitive and just extremely easy to use and easy to figure out. And the stuff I don't know, I can look up online or even use their tutorial. And I've just found it great software. I love it. It still takes quite a while to edit videos, but it definitely makes it a lot faster than the Windows Movie Maker. And your second question is, easiest method to stay inspired to make videos. This is kind of twofold for me. One, I get so much incredible positive feedback, and that really keeps me going. I just appreciate you guys so much. I just get so much love, and that really makes me want to keep doing it, and it's awesome. But the other thing is that every video I learn something from. I learn how to do better next time. So even if I totally mess up a video and it just turns out like I'm like, oh man, I don't even want to upload this because it's terrible, I learned something from it that I can hopefully do better next time, or at least try to do better next time. So this gradual, slow but gradual, just a little bit at a time, constant progress is really rewarding. And it's really rewarding to look back, watch a video from even a month ago and say, wow, look how much better I've gotten already. So I really enjoy it. It's a long-term growth project. I'm a student, and I love it. Darmonkey73 says, I was wondering how hard it is to find work on the road and give out an address for your application. I've gotten this question about the address thing a lot. I've answered it in other places, but I'll give you a real quick. I either tell them I'm a traveler, I just moved there and don't have an address yet, I'm couch surfing, or get a P.O. box. Some other people use abandoned houses and businesses, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I don't do that. As far as how hard it is to find work, it's hit or miss, man. Seems like the mom and pa stores with maybe 20 employees or something, and they have a help wanted sign outside. That's been easy to get a job in that situation every time. The big corporations with the online application I haven't found it to be as easy. That's really hit or miss, mostly miss for me. But when I can actually be in talking to the person who would hire me and be human to human, it's much easier for me. Live Simply says, what do you use on your Reflectix so that it does not show on the outside? Okay, it's just felt I got from, I think, Joann Fabrics or maybe Michael's or something like that. I don't know, some fabric store. It's just felt, and I glued it on with spray glue. And one side is black, one side is silver. I can have the silver side out when it's really hot and sunny, and I can have the black side out when I want to be really stealthy. And the silver on the inside also reflects the heat and the light on the inside, which is great in winter. So it's really a summer-winter / stealthy, don't care about stealth setup. I'm really fond of it. Penguin Chick says, I can refocus after training myself, but the panic attacks can really get me down. How do you deal with them? Any advice to help them pass faster? I have had a ton of panic attacks. When I first started this trip, I don't know what happened. I guess I had a nervous breakthrough. I don't want to call it a breakdown because it wasn't a bad thing. It was a great thing. It was all these old ideas and patterns of behavior just kind of collapsed and got so bad that I had to change them, and so I changed. But as far as how to deal with them and help them pass faster, accept them. Absolutely, just accept the moment you're in. I talked about this my last Q&A actually about meditating, and if you can practice meditation regularly before you have a panic attack, then you'll be able to switch this flip and become much more self-aware, and you'll know when they're about to kick in. You'll catch them before they kick in, and that's how I eliminated mine. I haven't had a panic attack for 6 months or so. I got really close last night with the tornado warning and the crazy thunder and wind. My van was rocking all over and stuff. But yeah, just meditate all the time. And by that I mean gently shift your focus to the present moment, to your senses. Lose your mind and come to your senses. So it's okay, we're up in here, we're so in our thoughts and identified with our thoughts that we think that's the only thing real. We even lose track of what's going on with our senses. Have you ever done that? You've done something and then all of a sudden you realize, whoa, I don't even remember what I just did. It's because you were so lost in your thoughts that you lost touch with the moment completely. And a panic attack is an extreme version of that. And all a panic attack is your body reacting to your thoughts. So you've got to gain control of your thoughts. That's what this is. And you've got to be able to see that they're not you and they're not real, as in they're just thoughts and they don't have any power at all unless you give them to them. And once you really realize this and can let your thoughts kind of go without attaching yourself to them and identifying with them, then they can't control you anymore, and they can't create these horrible panic attacks and depression and anxiety and stress and all this stuff. You can just let them go and come back to the present moment. I think the goal ought to be to balance the two and use your mind as a tool to create the life that you want to create, but not be so identified with it that you think it's you, and you're still able to be in the present moment and access the profound inner peace that is available at all times simply by being in the present moment and not identifying with your thoughts and getting lost in the chatter. So I hope that helps. Van Asylum had a similar question. I'll read that real quick. I think I just answered most of it, but I'm gonna read it anyway. He says, I have severe reoccurring depression, anxiety, and non-combat related PTSD. I'm currently rebuilding my van to hit the road permanently and be free. My mind races constantly, and I'm wondering if you have any advice to slow down, center, and reconnect. I wanted to do a van dwelling channel and bring to light the struggle of mental illness, but refused to put that limitation on myself. Your question is, do you have any advice to slow down, center, and reconnect with myself in a way that won't spin me sideways? Yeah, just let go, man. Just let go of everything and just be. Just breathe. Just look around. Just touch your hands. If you're outside of nature, that's the perfect place. Go outside of nature and just touch plants and touch grass and feel grass between your toes and look up at the sky and breathe the air and feel what it feels like to breathe that air and smell whatever it is you're around that smells. Eat some food and just take your time and just slowly put it in your mouth and just purposely eat and just feel how it feels inside your mouth going down into your belly and how you feel after it eats. Just really get in touch with the moment and everything you can sense and just fall in love with the moment, which you will the more time you spend there. About Wing says, I know you want to take your girl with you on the road, but how are you dealing with traveling alone in the van? I realize that all my usual ways of making friends in new places just drop since I travel in my van and have done to share accommodations. By the way, guys, About Wings is an awesome van dwelling channel. He's traveling all around Europe in his van right now. You guys should check it out. He's really good. So I am great being alone. I obviously very much miss my and want to spend time with my girl, but I'm great alone. I really don't need I enjoy having friends and I enjoy expressing myself and trying to understand other people and sharing things and stories and feelings and experiences and everything else. But I'm great being alone. I have no problem being alone. I could probably be stranded on a desert island and I'd be fine. I don't think I've ever felt lonely. I've missed people, definitely missed people, but I don't think I've ever felt lonely. I'm just a person that's good at being alone. I guess I was an only child and I grew up out in the country, so I didn't really, I don't know if I'm that kind of person that's okay with it, or if I had to learn to adapt to being very alone for prolonged periods of time. But I am good at being alone, so. And your second question is, why don't you let your patrons support you with every new video rather than per month? You have a little more control over how much you earn. I did that because at the time I was making videos every day, and I was planning on making videos every day, and I thought it was more reasonable to do it monthly rather than per video. If I had a set schedule, or I was doing different types of videos, that would make more sense. But for me, I just feel more comfortable with the per month thing. Tech and Muscle ask, how do you feel about the law of attraction? Do you believe it works? I don't think that anything is knowable with absolute certainty. I will say that. I will say that it seems to work, and I will say that whether it works or does not, see, this is a paradox, but I was going to say, whether it works or not, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. If it works, like gravity kind of thing. But because it's something where if you believe, it's a paradox that way. But I've found that the deeper you go down into the rabbit hole, the more you try to discover, deep truths, they all turn into paradoxes. So maybe that means something. It does seem to work, though. 510140 says, if New Orleans was your original destination, why have you put off going there? It's funny, it was my original destination, and I made this huge trip all the way up to Portland, Maine, and then all the way down to Key West, and I've totally just been because I went from Portland, Oregon to Nashville, and then up to, I belched, up to, in my mouth, up to Portland, Maine, and then all the way down to Key West. I am totally avoiding it, and it's because of the weather. And avoiding, I don't want to go to Mardi Gras. That sounds too intense for me. But I have been avoiding it. It's because of the weather, on this trip anyway. I was trying to get there on the motorcycle when I first started this trip, but it was trying to travel the country on an R6 was a bad move. But I got the van now, so it's all good. Shaniqua McDuffie says, what made you realize it was time to buy a van and convert it to live and travel in? So check out my video of why I live in a van and travel the United States. I talk about how I started this trip on my R6, but it was unbearable to travel cross-country long-term on a crotch rocket in camp with hardly any money and no idea how to get a job or anything. So I sold the motorcycle. It was my prized possession. I love that bike. I miss riding so much. But that's why I got the van, because I wanted to travel. I love traveling. I realized that it made me feel more alive than sitting around and doing the same thing every day. Or even just exploring my area. I felt like the area where I had grown up in and lived in, I knew too much about it, and it was too familiar. And that constant everything being familiar was kind of, I don't know, gives me itchy feet, man. I have to be somewhere new. I need newness, lots of newness. Vanishing Phoenix says, oh, and I'm sorry I missed you last time, by the way. I'm doing it now, though. Says, what was your life like before you chose to move into your van? What were the 3 things you missed the most from your previous life or whatever? Before I bought the van, okay, so I had the motorcycle, and I came back, and I lost my apartment because I was living in an apartment with my friend Victor. And then when I came back, I lost that apartment because I wasn't planning on coming back. I thought I was just going to live on the road on my motorcycle forever. But so I moved back in with my parents and did a couple more terms in school and worked a little bit and pretty much just rode my motorcycle around and partied and hung out with friends and stuff. And that was really about it. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And the 3 things I miss the most: Wi-Fi, all the time, anytime. No. This is an order. 1, my dog. I love my dog, Layla. She's a German Shepherd, and she is my best friend. 2, having Wi-Fi anytime I want, all the time. Good Wi-Fi, upload a video like that. 3, climate control. It's not so bad lately. There was a couple times in Key West where it was way too hot, but having air conditioning and heat like all the time and not being I don't want to say a slave to the weather, because it's not like that. It's not like a bad thing, but sometimes it's uncomfortable to be too hot or too cold, and it would be nice sometimes to not be too hot or too cold. So our last question comes from Stephen Kluge. He says, what's the plastic bag on your rear door for? He was referring to, there was a plastic bag right here, and what that was doing is the seal is leaking, and it was raining that day, so I put a plastic bag up in the seal and it doesn't leak. So that's what that was. But I should have just left it there, because I realized afterwards that I could use it for like a little like storage pouch, like a little Joey pouch on a kangaroo. Like I could just store stuff in there. But when I like reach up and like I hit my head on it or something, I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and leave me a question for next week. Love yourself.